tonight. I want to thank y'all once for coming out. I know we're few in number, but that's okay. Whoever's here is supposed to be here. And I'm going to leave it at that. For coming out for the first master class, G.E.M's Winning Dynamics in Business and Life Masteries. G.E.M stands for Goals Building Entrepreneurs Through Mentorship. Goals Building Entrepreneurship Through Mentorship. It's all about coaching, working together, and so forth. So our next speaker, to some of y'all may be new, but he's been around for a minute. He's done some great things, and I don't have his intro, but I'm going to do the best I can. He is the CEO of DLD Enterprises. He does a lot of black history teachings. Mr. Donald Dowridge. Put your hands together. Come on, give him a big round of applause. You need a stand or?
I'll take the mic just to make it look good. My voice curries, so since we're streaming on Facebook, I'll make it look good for Facebook. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How great it is to be alive on this beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
I don't know about you, but I woke up this morning, my eyes hit the ceiling, my mind hit G.O.D., and he said, my son, go have a great day.
Amen.
Amen. I always look forward to looking towards and for a great day in this life. Now, I don't know about you again, but this life is not promised to either one of us.
That's right.
Some of us manage to escape the minute we come. Some of us manage to escape at the age of 10. Some of us manage to escape at the age of 50. Some of us manage to escape at the age of 90. Now, when I say escape, I'm not talking about escaping prison, escaping hood, or escaping a marriage. I'm talking about escaping life. And I want to let you all know, and I know that we're in church, but I'm going to go there. I still get high.
Go ahead on.
I get high every morning I wake up. The thing that I do, I go right to my nightstand, I pull that top drawer open, I pull it out, and I fire it up. That's right, I fire it up, and I get my high on. That's right, my high on. Brother Mike, don't look at me like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Mike was looking at his phone, he said, wait a minute. I know this brother. What kind of high you talking about? And when I'm working with kids, which I do work a lot with, when I say that, they all get happy. They start smiling like, yo, Mr. D, he get high. But then when I whip them up and I say, high on life, then they say, wait a minute. I thought he was talking about, no, those days are gone.
Yes, sir.
Let me just share this real quick. What I want to talk to you all about, and first of all, I want to acknowledge Mr. Gatewood. I'm bad in the beginning, but once I get to know you, watch out. What's your name, sir? Earl Davis. Now, Mr. Davis, I heard you talk about Mr. Davis, Mr. Earl Davis. I mean, awesome guy. Awesome guy. I am so thankful that he is in my life. One thing that I love to do, I'm the type of guy that I'm not going to wait till you're laying in the church. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, you know, my brother, it was real, man. You know, like, hey, I couldn't have did it. You can't hear me.
That's right.
I'm talking to what? An empty shell. But when this brother, who is live in the living color, I can go up to him and I say, sir, I really appreciate you. And we had a conversation yesterday. And most definitely, you know, I kind of tripped him out because the conversation was basically, I know we're going to be here tomorrow night, and I got a feeling you had something to do with this, so I just want to take the opportunity beforehand to pick up the phone and say thank you. And his response was like, man, you off the chain. Well, I tell you what, don't try to put me back on the chain, because I'll be like a wop while I'll chew you up. That's right. This brother here, Mike, him and I, you know, it's wonderful how we met. But I got love for this brother like he's my brother. And we had many conversations about motivation, about being an entrepreneur, about coming out here and doing your thing, about busting that dream wide open. A dream is nothing if you don't do anything with it.
That's right.
So, Brother Mike, you know I love you like that.
Yes, sir.
All right, much respect to you. So, as I said, I want to talk to you today about the power of being a winner. This is my 13th book here, and I want to elaborate on some of the points in the book. And I must tell you that I do a lot of speaking off the cuff. I've been in this business for 24 years. As a matter of fact, January of this year marked 24 years. The name of my company is DLD Enterprises, determined to learn and develop. DLD, Donald Lee Dowridge, Jr. What started me? I always get the question, what got me started? What got me started is the fact that I was working at the United States Post Office. As a matter of fact, I was the first African-American male to be promoted as a manager of a certain department of the post office here at the airport. One day my son came home. He said, "Dad, would you come speak to my class?" I thought nothing of it because at the time my goal was to become the first black postmaster of Hillsborough County. That was my goal. But I will bring this in the fold. God had something else planned. His plan was not for me to become postmaster. He let me enjoy that little promotion of being the first. But then it was coming time for me to move on to do his will. So when my son came in and said, "Daddy, would you come speak to my class?" I said, "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow." And my goal was to go in and speak and just go on back to work. But watch this. When I went in and started speaking with the kids, the teacher, Mr. Horn, he went to the principal's office, and not knowing what he was doing, he went in and called 5 different schools to have me come out and speak. Now, a lot of you all was not born back in 1992, but back then we didn't have cell phones, and we also didn't have the answering machines per se, voicemails, all right? But we had the box that was sitting next to the where it took you 20 years to get all 7 numbers done. By that time, everybody else that you're trying to save, they dead because it took you 7 years. Thank God for the cell phone. You know what I mean? Just touch it, here they come. So when I got home and I listened to my messages, there were 5 different schools on that begging me to come out and speak. Can I break it down? Just break it down instead of going the long way around?
Break it down.
God used that baby to get to me. Because God knew I was going to do whatever my son and reason wanted me to do. Why? Because I love him. Why? Because I wanted to be a role model to him.
Okay.
And that started my journey as to where I am. My sister, I'm sorry, ma'am. Your name again?
Sister C.
Sister C, poetry, believe it or not, that's what opened the door for me.
Okay.
I started doing poetry. I had a dream. Have your dream. I'll even go further back. The day I got, can I tell you? The day I got out the military in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and I got on that Greyhound bus going to Baltimore. This was in 1983. I fell asleep. How many of you all been on the bus?
Oh.
You fall asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you got a window. If you got a window,
Yeah,
your head cocked over on that window. All right? My head was cocked on that window. I fell off into a deep sleep. In that sleep, there was a dream. The dream was billboards. Empty billboards. And I had a big question mark in my mind. What am I going to do with billboards? And empty ones at that. I could see if the billboards I saw were people, you know how you see the billboards of Newport cigarettes and they profiling with the cigarettes, or you see about a car or something, but it was empty. And I saw 5 billboards in 1983, but they were empty in my dream. Watch this. Dreams coming true. The first billboard went up in Tampa, Florida in 1990. No, I'm sorry, I'll back up. The first billboard went up in Tampa in 2000. Before the end of that year, there were 6 billboards floating up around Tampa, DLD Enterprises. I thought back to 1983 on that Greyhound bus. That was the revelation. that was the beginning of a dream, even though it took time for the dream to manifest itself, and not only manifest itself, but to come to fruition. And I couldn't sit down on it, I had to work on it. In order for me to work on it, I had to set the dream in motion to bring it to fruition so that I can put the billboards in place. It's one thing, like my brother said, and like my brother said, and like my brother said, it's one thing to dream about it, talk about it, but the action prevails about it.
Yes, sir.
I want to share something today. As a matter of fact, I wrote this today on Facebook. I saw something on Facebook that triggered me. What I saw was Mr. Ronald Richardson. Mr. Ronald Richardson, he lost one of his legs. Mr. Ronald Richardson, he travels the country with a basketball team. He's right here in Tampa, but he goes all over the country, and sometimes he goes out of the country playing basketball. I've seen this brother through pictures, and I know him personally. I've seen him play basketball. I've seen him ski. I've seen him swim. I've seen him do everything. So today, when I come up on Facebook, he's talking about, well, I've played basketball, I've traveled, I've done this, and I've done that. But I'm going to try something else today. And he puts the video up. You know what he's doing? He's on a skateboard. You know the kids that skateboard, they got the skateboard court? He's in his wheelchair, using his wheelchair as a skateboard. And he's moving fast too. And he says, I'm 60 years old. He looks good for 60 in the wheelchair. And he's moving, look like he's going 100,000 miles an hour. And then he do a wheelie, and then he stop, and he say, how you like that? And that's the end of the video. It don't get no better than that. So he prompted me to write this. And if you don't mind, I'll share it with you. The pleasure and blessing to know this incredible brother man for many years. Mr. Ronald Richardson has been and still is motivation. To witness and see him constantly having the gall, that's right, I said it, the gall, to push and roll forward with no excuses. Somebody talked about excuses earlier. For his situation. You living with excuses? Then check out my brother, Mr. Ronald Richardson. Stop the excuses and live full. Life is short. Stop living short with excuses. Be incredible. Everybody say that. Be incredible.
Be incredible.
Matter of fact, don't say be incredible. Say I am incredible.
I am incredible.
I am unstoppable.
I am unstoppable.
Tears we cry. Tears fall. Be restless. Be forward charging. Fail, we all go through it. But we're not failures. Be progressive. Be non-excuse. Sick, we all get, but sick, we get well too. Be joyful. Be gleanful. Be glean. Be victory. Life happens with you or without you. It's going to happen. Right. So the final question as I end this, where you at? I went hoodie on that. Where you at, homie? Are you asleep or are you alive? Every Saturday on 40th Street, which is right down the street, there's a parade that travels on 40th Street. Anybody know what the parade is? Every Saturday afternoon, there's a parade on 40th Street. Anybody know what it is?
No.
It's a parade that's going right up to the cemetery. And you got people that stand on the sideline watching it. They're watching that parade because they want to know who's in the lead car, the hearse. Who's in there? So we got a choice, either be in the parade or stand on the sideline. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to be in the parade. And it's a wonderful thing when you're in the parade. Now, Mr. Davis, he know me. Mr. Michael know me. And they know when there's lights, camera, action, watch out because DLD is coming to life. I love that action. Now, when the lights are off, I'm like my young brother right there. I'm sitting back cool, chilling. I'm quiet as I don't know what. You can't get a peep out of me. But when that light come on, start the band up. Here comes DLD. Dun, 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 dun. Because I'm happy.
Yes, sir.
People think I'm on drugs. People think, they're like, man, what's going on? How can you be so happy? Well, my brother, you say you had challenges when you were young. Ladies and gentlemen, let me come out the closet right now and tell you this. when I was a kid going through those 5 foster homes, anything you can imagine a child going through and being abused, that was me. How can you make a child eat dog food for 9 months? That was me. How can you physically, mentally, sexually abuse a child? That was me. But you know what? You don't have to end up where you started.
That's right. That's right.
And those people that told me that I wasn't going to be, those people who said they're going to make me to be, those people said that I'm going to die, well, I wish all of them were right here to see that it wasn't their words that manifested my life. I was in Baltimore on February the 26th doing Frederick Douglass, which is another part of me. This is my 7th year traveling the country doing Frederick Douglass. God is so good. Somebody say God is good.
God is good.
When I think there's a no way, God makes a way. Well, I'm in Baltimore doing Frederick Douglass, and all of a sudden the director says, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Dowridge, he's from Tampa, he's from Baltimore. Matter of fact, it was a community that I was that little kid in. That's where I went back to. That was my first time going back to that community to perform. 2 ladies sitting in the back there while I'm performing. In the middle of me doing Frederick Douglass, they shout and scream, Big Daddy, we love you! And I'm like, I stopped. I'm like, wait a minute. You know me? Big Daddy, you know, and they just took over the show. Big Daddy, you was a pain in my behind, boy. I had to get on your little butt back then. She said, you remember me? And I'm like, no, Miss McCormick. I said, yes, ma'am, I remember you. I remember you. And after I got finished, they came and gave me some of the biggest hugs. And you want to know something? I'm a bad man. Matter of fact, I hope Muhammad Ali don't hear this because I'm the greatest. All right. I'm the greatest. That's right. When he stood up on that rope in 1963 after he phantom punched Sonny Liston and he said, I'm the greatest, well, I'm using his words. I hope you don't mind. I love you, Ali, but here it is. I had to show them, God put me in that position to show them what happened to that little big-headed boy. Big Daddy, that's what they used to call me. And I had tears scrolling down my face. I broke down and started crying because it was a very emotional moment. Because when I hear people say, Big Daddy, or Don, Junebug, where you been? I thought you were dead, man. Because I was also a gangbanger in the South Bronx. I was the vice president of the most notorious gang. You think the Crips and Bloods, I was the vice president of the most notorious gang in the South Bronx. Now see, ma'am, I'm just going to talk to you personally. Because, you know, all these other people, I ain't worried about them. Because they ain't going to hear me. But, ma'am, I saw you taking notes. See, there's a young man that's sitting in here that's all cut up. I mean, they got 6-packs, flex like Incredible Hulk. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm a snitch. There he is. He's sitting right there. All right? Now, the reason I'm bringing it to full when I say cut up, all right, I'm not cut up, but I am cut up.
Wow. Wow. Now we listen.
I am cut up. I got the marks on my body to show what happened to me back then as a gangbanger. But again, I had a praying grandmother. Bill Withers had the song, Grandma Hands. Now you can't see her, but she's here, standing here, right here with me, Mary Rogers. That's my praying grandmother.
Okay.
She talked to God to get me out of that South Bronx, to get me into a safe location called Tampa, Florida. That's why I'm able to be here at 59 years old to talk to you today. Because other than that, I could have been in that casket at 17. Another black man gone. Black boy gone. Didn't even have a chance to. You see what I'm saying? So, when I bow down and I say, Lord, in 1989, I said, Lord, I don't want to die nobody. I want to die somebody. And then when I hear somebody like a Zig Ziglar that say, who do you want at your funeral? Have your end in mind. Who do you want at your funeral? Do you want just your family at your funeral? Do you want your friends at your funeral? Do you want the community at your funeral? Do you want the city at your community? Your funeral? Do you want the city? Do you want the state? Do you want the United States? Do you want the world? Once that thing penetrated through me, watch out now. I want the world.
Yes, sir.
And when I do go and I'm laying there in front of everybody, yeah, me, I'm the only one that can do this. I'm going to get up and see who's out there. Then I'm going to go back to sleep.
So good.
The power of being a winner. Everybody say, winner.
Winner.
Are you really a winner?
Yes, sir.
Are you really a winner? Why you want to be a winner? How about being a loser? There's a lot of losers out there nowadays. More so now than ever, there's a lot of losers out there. Why is there a lot of losers out there more so today than ever? Because a lot of people are giving up. A lot of people are finding it's easier to quit than to get up and move forward and be progressive. Why do I need to get up out my bed and go out here in this world and try to do when I know all they're going to do is shut a door on me? How many of you all, by show of hand, have knocked on many doors just to get them shut in your face? How many of you all had that attitude that, hey, I'm quitting. Forget it. I'm done. They done fried me out. Pull me out the oven. I'm done. All right? But something inspired you to get back up and go knock on another door. And that something that inspired you to get up and go knock on that other door, you come to find out what happened to that door. It opened up. That was the door that was designed not for me, not for her, not for my young brother, but designed for you. It's almost like, how many of you all ever played musical chairs? How many of y'all ever got knocked out that chair? All right? And hit that ground? Well, it wasn't designed for you. That chair was not designed for you. That's why you got knocked to the floor. But when you got knocked to the floor, what did you do? Did you roll around? Or you got up and dust yourself off and then you joke with the person who got the chair and you say, yeah, I'll get you next time. That's the tenacity. That's the willpower. That's the willpower to W in wade, in winner. To wade, to move, to glide, to be able to slide so you can come back again. The wade. How many of you all, or not you all, how many of you all seen people who should have waded, but they got hit because they didn't move in time? They lost because they didn't move in time. 5 o'clock traffic, how many of you all got stuck in it? Oh, matter of fact, no, don't raise your hand. How many of you all know the traffic pattern here in Tampa? Because you've been here so long, you know the traffic pattern. Raise your hand if you know the traffic pattern. And the reason I'm asking this question, during the 5 o'clock hour, you got a choice because you know the pattern. You can either sit there in that traffic for hours, or as you come up, you see a street there that you, okay, cool. I get up to that street, I'm going to slide over and I'm going to go down that street and I'm going to avoid this traffic. You know what you've done, ma'am? Since you said, you know what? I think I just fell in love. Hi, honey. You just wade. You wade through the traffic. In order for us to get to our mission, our design mission, we have to do what? Wade through the ball of confusion. The ball of confusion that is sitting there awaiting you. Now, you got attitude. Here, sir, I don't need this. I think I'm getting ready to get funky up in here. Don't worry. You don't have to pour your gas mask on. But I'm getting ready to get funky. All right? And my name's not James Brown. That's right. I know, sir. He's looking at me like, Don. And I feel it. Sir, you want to see James Brown? But,
Oh my God.
ball of confusion. You got attitude, you got altitude. Attitude, you fluctuate. You know why you fluctuate on attitude? Because you're allowing others to control your thought pattern. They done found out your what? Your peep card, your weakness. So now they play on it. But when you're on altitude, and the pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, we are now currently at 3,000 feet of altitude. Latitude, however they say. Well, you look out the window, you might see clouds, and as we're going up, what do you see? Eventually you see what? Blue skies. That's altitude. But when you live your life on altitude, you don't know better than anybody else. But all it says is that you got more control than anybody else. Because when they're trying to tamper with your what? Your being, your mind, your heart, well, you already done shield all that off. Because see, altitude is like living with what? The suit of armor.
Yes, sir.
Y'all know the new movie's coming out, right? Batman versus Superman?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I like my sister like,
I thought they were on the same team.
yeah. Well, you know, it sells tickets.
Oh,
And I'll be the first one to go in there because I am a Superman fan. Well, now, wait a minute, sir. Can I go there? Dun, 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 dun. Matter of fact, the kids a couple of years ago, they had a dance out called what? Superman?
Superman. That's right. There you go, learn it.
Oh, shoot.
That's right. Altitude allows you to ward off the kryptonite. But you got to know how to use it. It just don't happen overnight. It just don't happen like this. It takes time to build up the altitude. Because we're human. And being human has a tendency, if you will, of taking us out of our zone. How many of you all recently were visited by life? Anybody was visited by life? Now that may sound weird because somebody might be thinking, what is he talking about? We all live in life. We are all living life until life decides to come pay you a personal visit. To come pay you a personal visit that can result in, per se, death, divorce. You can't pay your bills, or you was in a major car accident. That's life coming to say hello. And when life comes to say hello to you, how you going to react to it? I heard somebody say earlier, are you going to play the what? Blame game? It was Michael's fault that it happened to me. Michael don't even know me. Michael wasn't even around me. Michael was out there living his life. So why am I going to go call and say it was his fault? Oh, it was your fault, sister, that I got a divorce. Excuse me? You better check yourself and stop wrecking yourself. Because like when I asked that question, sir, I asked the question when I was 30 years old, right? I said, why is this happening to me? My mentor, you know what he told me? My godfather, you know what he told me? He said, well, who you want it to happen to? Yeah, go pick somebody. And then now on top of that, he said, you know what? Because my sister said we all African Americans in here. Well, guess what? He said down the street, 2 doors down, there's a nice, comfortable, well-to-do white family down there. He said, matter of fact, go look out the door and go look what they driving. I go look down the drive, they got a Lincoln, not a Continental, but the Navigator. And they also had a Mercedes parked there. Very well off to do. But then all of a sudden, guess what I see coming out the door? I see the mother pushing the son. The son is strapped to a wheelchair. So I go back and I told him what I just saw. He said, now, you want to go trade places? You want their life? Or you want to keep your life? And go through what you're going through. He made me think. Why not me? So the next time something comes up, don't try to wade through it. Just stand through it. And guess who got your back? You, my sister, don't point. Say it out loud. Say it out loud.
God.
Hallelujah. Now, if you keep going there, sister, I will pass the offering plate. And I got a choir that will come up and sing. It's called the DLD Mass Choir. Matter of fact, let me give you a taste of it. Choir, give them a taste. Lord, that's enough. Amen. Winner in the eye. Question. Now, this is going to be a weird question. How many of you all were born?
I was born.
How many? Only you were the only one that was born?
I was born.
Okay. Born. B-O-R-N.
Twice.
Okay, well, I ain't talking about the second one. I'm talking about the first one. I know what the second one is about. All right? We came out of our mothers. We were born. But the question is, how many children, siblings came out with you? How many came out with you?
Not with.
And guess what? Even when you talk about twins, one came out what?
First one at a time.
I know that for some of us, unfortunately, when death can come in doubles. So now you got to prepare 2 bodies for a funeral. But my question is, when you come up and you see the bodies laying here, do you see an extra wide casket with 2 bodies in it? I've never seen that. I'm yet to see an extra wide casket with 2 bodies in it. You see what? Casket? Casket. So you know what that means? We're born independent and we're going to what? Die independent. So the moral of the story is, why are we looking out to be like when we should look in to be independent? It's not about the external. It's the internal where the gifts lay dormant.
Say that again.
It's the internal where the gifts lay dormant. Matter of fact, I heard the pastor say a long time ago, your lions. Your lions. Now, when he said, I was a babe then, and when he said your lions, I thought he was going to go, wow, like a lion. And then I saw him rubbing his stomach, and I was really blown because I'm like, how does lion in your stomach tie in? But then when he broke it down, he said, this is where your gift is at, in your lions. That's where God put those gifts, those talents right here. But you'll never get to use those talents if you're looking outside to look for those talents. See, mentor, I can go to Mr. Davis here, Brother Earl, and I can say, brother, I need to pay you to help me be a motivational speaker. He comes back and he says, well, Don, I see you got the gift. The gift is laying there. Well, let me help you what? Manifest. Let me help you grow. Let me help you mature it. Because a lot of us have those gifts, but if we don't have the right people to insert, to be around, to help us, to assist us, it continues to do what? Sleep. And gee whiz, Batman, don't be Rip Van Winkle. I was in the store the other day. I was buying something. They said, well, that product won't be in until next week, and I really need this product. So, sir, you know what I told the lady? I said, ma'am, do you have a spot that I can sit down? She said, yeah, you can sit over there. I said, no, I'm going to need to sit here until that product comes because I'm going to turn into Rip Van Winkle. I ain't leaving until that product comes. She burst out and started laughing. But I'm serious. That's how much I needed. I would have grew that beard. But the moral of the story is, if you got the gift and the talents, don't be Rip Van Winkle on it. Don't go waking up when you're 90 years old and you're saying, what you say, Shani? I want to use my gift. It's too late. You don't let 40, 50 years disappear on you just like that. Because time does not wait on individuals like us. So be independent. Know how to stand firm. Know how to stand strong. Know how to stand within your zone to get to your next plateau of your what? Greatness. As I put my hand out, that's your zone right there. Nobody should be inside that zone without your what?
Permission.
Your permission. The I, independent. The end of winter, natural. I've been complimenting a lot of sisters lately. I have. I've been complimenting a lot of sisters. You know why, Pastor, I've been complimenting them? Because I'm loving how they're not wearing that natural. They going back to, I see the natural is making that comeback. I see the braids that are, and these sisters. Sir, can I please? Can I tell you something? I'm rich. I come from the bottom and now I'm on top and I'm rich. I'm filthy rich. But guess what, sir? I'm a black man too. Can I tell you something? Because I'm rich, you won't see a white woman on my arm. You will see a sister.
All right.
All right.
Because guess what?
Okay.
Young man, you know about this. Can I dust my shoulders off? Hey, I know a sister. Now I might get booted out of here, but that's okay. I'm willing to take my punches.
Speak.
Oh, girl, look at here. We're going to go there. You're going to make the offering plate come out in a minute. Sisters sometimes can be hard to get along with. But in the midst of a sister being hard to get along with, sister got your back.
That's right.
Sister got your back.
That's right.
And when I say a sister can be hard to get along with, I mean that she ain't going to take but so much.
There you go.
Now, President Barack Obama, that I am so blessed to be living to see a black president, when he go upstairs to the living area of that White House, I can only imagine that Michelle is up there talking some smack to him. And he'll come out the next morning and say, well, I understand that, and you got some food out there. I said food. Shut up, you're lying! And he oversee it. But he go upstairs that night, Barack. Now, you know what? You ain't gonna have no white man telling you to shut up like that. I started to come out there and do, honey, Michelle, it's okay. A sister will drop it like it's hot. Now, a white woman, oh, but I love you. Oh, honey. I guess that's why Clarence Thomas is in the doghouse he is with us as it is now.
That's right.
I shouldn't have went there. I'm sorry, Brother Mike.
No, I ain't seen him do nothing.
Oh, he
He's
spoke.
been in there.
As a matter of fact, he spoke, I think it was a month ago, he spoke. And this is what he said. I got something in my throat. Look at this guy. I'm off the chain. Natural. Be natural, meaning that you don't have to be anybody else but who?
You.
Yourself. God made you. He made you special. Sir said it. When he made us, he did what? He broke the what? He broke the mold. Anybody been in the first grade where they give you the little scissors and you get a stack of paper and you had to cut out the little men and then you stretch them out? And then as you stretch them out, the teacher had you to color each one different. Neither one of them, and if one of them looked like the same, you failed. Because the point that she was making, that each one of those little men are different. Each one of you all are what? Different. When I was in Baltimore some years ago, I just came from a meeting. I saw 5 brothers hanging on the corner. All 5 of those brothers had the long white t-shirts. I don't know if you remember when they used to wear the long t-shirts. All 5 of them were standing there with the white t-shirt. I'm driving with my suit on. I have the gall to go over and stop. And I walked over and I interrupted those brothers. I said, excuse me, please don't shoot me, because I know there are guns over there. But the main question and the main curiosity that was blowing up my head.
So you ain't crazy.
That's right. Well, you know, you got to go ready, you know. The main, sir, please. The main curiosity was, I didn't care about them standing there drinking. I didn't care about them with the guns. I didn't care about them cursing. I wanted to know why all of them were standing there dressed like, dressed the same.
Good job.
And it was 5 of them. I knew that wasn't a temptation standing there. But the curiosity was, when I went over there and I asked them, I said, excuse me, sir, brothers, why are all y'all wearing the same shirt? They said, when the popo come, they won't be able to identify us.
Oh, smart.
That's what they said.
Because they all look alike.
Because they all look alike. And when we take off, they don't know who to go after. Because guess what? All they know is white shirts disappear. So I asked them, I said, why y'all, aren't y'all independent? I mean, are y'all all the same? We're the same color. No, that ain't the point I'm making. You're different individuals standing here, but you all dressed alike. Get some individuality about yourself. When I ask kids, I say, why do you get high? Why are you smoking? I used to smoke too. As a matter of fact, the kids say, Mr. D, you know they passed the new law. You gonna get high again? I said, fool, if you don't get out my face.
That's right.
The only high I need to get on nowadays is G.O.D.
That's it.
That's why, sir, since you clapping, that's why I use my GPS every day. God's personal service. Don't hide away from the gift. And unfortunately, a lot of our kids nowadays, they're hiding away from the gift. You know, the gift is not easy. You got to work for that gift. I understand when you said, brother, that entrepreneurs stay up late, go to bed late, get up early. I understand that quite well, and I do that a lot. I didn't go to bed until 2 o'clock this morning. And I was back up sometimes. Sometimes I get up at 7, and then on top of that, I go to the gym for 4 hours.
Go ahead on, bro.
And people say, how do you manage to do that at 59? First of all, I got to give it credit. Ding! Second of all, I'm watching what I put in my body.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Third of all, I'm watching what I'm drinking. I be drinking. Go on, Beyonce. I be drinking. I drink that #1 drink, y'all. You better get some. That thing off the what? For shizzo. Matter of fact, if this was a commercial, H2O, good for your kidneys. And sometimes in one setting, I drink 3 of these at one time. Because my dad taught me a lesson. My dad taught me a lesson about, I forgot what they call it, dialysis. This keeps me away from dialysis.
That's right.
Now, I have another drink that I drink. That other drink I drink is called sodas. Yeah, okay, all right. I'm a freak for sodas. I gotta have soda when I'm eating. As a matter of fact, I got a big old cup in the freezer full of ice. I said, sir, Pastor, can I tell on myself? I take it out when I'm getting ready to go eat. I take it out and I put it in the zinc, let it thaw out a little. I don't need to thaw out a whole lot. Just thaw out a little bit so the soda can circulate down there.
That's right.
Shoot. And after I done gobbled up that food, shoot. Now I'm on that drink. And I'm like, sir, can I tell you? I'm like a little child. I turn that thing all the way up. That's right.
That's
and
right.
if I see some soda moving in the corner right there because that ice blocking it, I be scooping it.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, I'll keep it real now. But you only get one body. This is your temple. Take care of your temple. I'm not guaranteed to live to be 100, 90, or whatever. But I know that if I take care, that's going to open doors for me to keep doing and maybe do more. And I work a lot with young brothers. This brother here, he bear witness. I do a lot of work with these young brothers. And these young brothers, if they don't know me when I walk in, it's what this old man going to tell us. What this old fool going to tell us. But when it's all said and done, they're like, can I introduce you to my grandfather? I said, why you want to do? My granddaddy is the same age as you. He don't move like that. He always telling me to go get his medicine. I ain't cracking on him, but the mere fact of it, like I'll tell him, I say, look, I stopped when I was in my 30s. Meaning I stopped doing drugs. I stopped being an alcoholic. I turned my life over because I wanted to live. And Les Brown personally told me when Les Brown was here and I was his chauffeur for a weekend, he personally told me, he says, son, let me tell you something. Remember this the rest of your life. You will never be able to get in front of somebody and try to coerce, try to coach, try to mentor, try to inspire somebody if you don't look the part that you're supposed to look to inspire.
That's right.
You can't stand before mankind and tell mankind to go brush your teeth if you don't have teeth. You got the what? You got the, and it's like he told me, it ain't about faking it till you make it.
No, it's not.
You got to be able to have made it because they can always peek through you. Our children, they're not, these kids nowadays, maybe my generation when we came out, we were probably dumb. They had to teach us that from one step to the next. These kids nowadays, give me a break. I was up in the hospital, 2 weeks ago. Bear witnessing to a birth. Y'all know what I saw? When they pulled that baby out, that baby came out with a laptop.
iPhone too, huh?
No, 10 years ago they came out with the cell phone. This passe now. They coming out with laptops now. And I see these little kids just playing on these laptops and whatnot. I mean, where are they getting it from? So that means they're smart. My grandmother say, know how to discern people. These children come out discerning us. So when you're before these children, and when you're before young people, and when I say young people, 30 on down, you better make sure yourself is together.
That's right.
And you better make sure you know what you're talking about.
They're gonna check you.
Because, say it again, sir.
They're gonna check you real quick.
And if they even think you lying, if they even think you scheming,
Put you on Facebook.
no, they're going to do one better. They're going to see you outside. They're going to be standing at your car when you go outside because they got something for you for lying to them. Independence, natural, neutral, nowhere to stand. I think there's something that God says about stand. Just stand. Johnny McKirkland, stand. And I'm sure in the Bible somewhere it says about just stand.
Ephesians.
I'm sorry?
In Ephesians.
Yes, just stand. Because sometimes you need the water to be what? Peaceful. And we ain't talking about bridge over troubled water. Because neutral allows your mind to what? It allows your vision to what? It allows your dream to what? It allows the scope to what? Because you what? You stand. Give you the chance to think. To think. We got two things, sir. We got the STM and the LTM. Short-term memory, long-term memory. The short-term memory, if you know, this is the frontal lobe right here. This is the frontal lobe. That's where your short-term memory goes right here. Everything that I'm saying right now is not going to your long-term memory. It's going to your short-term memory, and then like a what you call it that you mix up your fruit in? Blender. What's happening now? The blender is working, and what's happening is taking out stuff that is not necessary, and then getting rid of that waste, and then the things that are necessary is going where? To your long-term memory, which is sitting in the back of your head. Neutral. And just to move forward, because I know my time is wrapping up, then you got the E in winter. Be able to express yourself. Be able to express yourself. Be able to communicate. Be able to stand tall and look someone in the eyes. Be able to use those words to help move the mountain. Now, some of us remember back in the days with the NFL, the basketball, and national basketball, when Howard Cosell would get the mic and get up to some of these brothers' faces. Well, how did you do that? How did you score? And then Howard would interrupt them nice and kind of, well, thank you very much. And that is so-and-so telling you how he did. And we all on the outside looking in saying, did what? Because the whole time it was, There's no communication. So the E is, how do you express yourself to get what you want in life? Well, you got college degrees, you got, of course, education, and I'll be the first to let you know that, guess what? The education system nowadays is nowhere near the education system that it was when we were coming through. This system that we have now, it's unfortunate that our kids are not being taught. When George Bush talked about no child left behind, it's because of the school system nowadays that many children are being left behind. And more so, children that look like us. So, as I tell them, we have to have education to be able to communicate the doors open so that we can march forth to our what? Successful dream. And since I see my sister writing, I'm going to give you something, sister. I'm going to give you something. I mentioned NBA. Natural born abilities. That's what NBA is. And I know when I say NBA, the first thing you're thinking is the National Basketball Association. Cancel that. Because God has given us that gift so that we are born with it. But it's a shame when we don't what? Use it. We don't find it. We don't discover it. Matthews tells us about those gifts. It tells us about that one individual who had that one gift and he got upset, so he went to try to hide it. So he tried to hide it under a rock. God took that gift and gave it to somebody else. NBA, natural born abilities. I mentioned NFL. Navigate favor in your lifetime. Navigate favor is just a new twist to, are you ready for this? Don't burn your bridges. The key word, favor. Now, I don't know if anybody noticed when Brother Mike walked in, and we haven't seen each other in a minute, right?
Since last year.
And you know how long last year was, right?
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah, about a year. About 5 months ago or something like that, because time is flying. But the moral of the story is when he walked in, we hugged each other, and we talked, and we smiled. Because there's what there? Favor. The favor is still what? Fresh. Mr. Davis, I haven't seen him in a while. We talked. But the same sentiments. Because what? It is the favor that has been navigated for a lifetime. Do unto others as you may have them to do unto who? You. I understand our kids, they love rap. Well, let me ask the question. How many of you all love rap? Anybody here listen to rap?
Good rap. Good rap.
Yeah.
I don't see much good out there.
Yeah. Well, you know what, sir? I will be while I was getting dressed, I was listening to some of that trap music.
It's okay.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm tuned into it. I have to be.
I get it.
You know?
I understand.
Yeah.
That's how come I know it's there.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like it got me scratching my head, but I'm listening to it, and I got the dances that go with it.
Uh-oh.
Baby, won't you come my way? Let me stop. my young man over there, every time I say something about young people, he like, that dude off for shizzo. I like him though. Crazy though, buddy. He in there, my man. RAP, realize your altitude power. That's rap in my world. Realize your altitude power. Meaning that there's people out there that are desperately trying to what? Deflate your rise.
That's right.
And they deflate your rise by your weakness of your self-control. What do I mean? They know how to set you off. It was said earlier, they're going to leave you frowning, upset, mad, while they're going to find somebody else. And if I can use the proper word, sucker. They're going to look for that next sucker. Just like the con man back in the old days, he would come up in the city and he'd say, I got the healer right here. This right here, this bottle will heal all your pain. And all those people out there, I want some. And really all it is just colored water. He done got $1 million off of who? A town full of what? Suckers. He got the altitude. They're left with the attitude. And then you got the R. And then I'm bringing it to an end. Re-give. Know how to re-give. Know how to re-give. Blessings. Blessings. Blessings come from how much you re-give. Because when God gives it to you, he's only loaning it to you so you can do what? Share it with somebody else. The old saying is, don't give away your kitchen sink. You need your kitchen sink. But it's okay to share if you have abundance. And even if you don't have abundance sometimes, you can give away your last, not knowing where that next is coming from, but because you were brave enough to give away your last, you turn around the next day, something else is sitting there waiting on you. I don't know if it's a check, house, car, whatever. Something's waiting on you. And I'm going to tell you something else before I close and re-give. Is anybody here not patient? We got any unpatient people here? They want it right now? They want it right now? Right? They want it right now? All right? Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about patience. Patience. I used to be that type. I want it now. What's that commercial? J.G. Whitwell? I want my money now. Well, you know what I learned about patience? 99% of the things I want out of life, God has given it to me because I demonstrate the utmost of patience. If I walk into an establishment and I'm able to stand back and I got some people coming in, I'll stand back and I'll just watch the whole show. And when they're gone, I'll step up and they'll tell me something like, sir, because of your patience and your willingness to wait, don't worry about it. We'll just give it to you for free. Look at G.E.M. You want to ride on the magic carpet ride? Ride on the magic carpet of patience. And watch, 99.9% of the things you desire will come to you. It may not always be free, but how about discount? It may not be right there in your face, but how about surprise? It may not be that day, but how about sometime next week when you go to your mailbox? Surprise, and you scratching your head saying, where did this come from? Or if you calling a bill collector and you say, look, A, B, C, and they say, well, sir, don't worry about it. Ma'am, don't worry about it. Because we noticed that somewhere back in the days, you made an extra payment. Don't worry about it. We got you. Re-give brings giving to you. And see, I know about the re-give. I know about the re-give because I was born on Thanksgiving Day. So I know about the thanks, and I know about the giving. And I know how good God is. So everybody repeat after me as I take my seat. I am a W-I-N-N-E-R.
I am a W-I-N-N-E-R.
And from this moment on, I will continue to live my life to succeed.
And from this moment on, I'm going to continue to live my life to succeed.
Attitude has passé from this moment gone.
Has passé from this moment gone.
Altitude, clouds watch out.
Clouds watch out.
Because here I come.
Because here I come.
I'm flying on my personal 747.
I'm flying on my
impersonal 747. Non-stop.
non-stop
To my happiness.
to my happiness.
Until it's time for me to what? Lay down.
Until it's time for me to lay down.
Or better yet, until it's time for the signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Thank you.